Hey everyone, Penham here again, and today we are going to be reviewing the brand new Legendary Hero decks. So this basically just came out here in, in North America at least, because this was actually supposed to come out around the 5th or the 6th of October. It was delayed a week or two because of the hurricane, I believe is the reason. But for whatever reason this was delayed, the well-anticipated Legendary Hero Dex is finally here and we can open it, savor it, and review every last second of it. So this is in the same category of product as, well, every previous three decks in a box products, you know? So like the Yugi Legendary deck, the original Trilogy Legendary decks, we have the Dragon Legendary decks from the previous one, where you had Pendulums, you had Cyber Dragons, and you had some Yugi Hero Dragon things. But this time around, we have some Legendary Heroes. And, well, as you guys might have noticed, we have 3 brand new monsters on the cover, and a few OCG imports in these decks, I believe. But we have Heroes, Nordics, and Phantom Knights. In the past, I've played Heroes quite a bit, so I do know quite a bit about the deck. Nordic was something I did dabble with back in 5Ds. If you guys remember, I've been playing the game since the beginning. But Phantom Knights is the only deck I have little to no experience playing with. So maybe I won't be able to comment too well about it. But we still have 3 decks, and we can review each one of them, because there are a lot of great staples reprinted in here, and we gotta admire the artwork on this. They've done some effort, you know. There is a bit of an effort on the artwork over here. Of course, just going to tell you guys, there's nothing else. It's just an empty box after this plastic bit, so we'll just throw the plastic to the side and we'll get to the artwork on the top. You guys have already seen this part, but here is pretty nice too, because we have Thor, we have Extra Hero, over here we have Breaksword, we have Odin. So, you know, it's a little artwork that's, you know, fan service, I would say. So we'll start with the one most people were excited about. Extra Hero Dread Decimator, so basically the hero deck. A lot of people were excited about this one because they were hoping for a Vion reprint, which sadly did not happen. From what I understand, at least. Maybe, who knows, maybe it is in here. But from what I've read and seen, it should not be in here, sadly. But there are still some very interesting cards in here, whether it be reprints or some new Link monsters for heroes in general. So let's get into it. We have Extra Hero Dread Decimator. Okay, this lighting is not too good right now. There we go. This looks a little better. Extra Hero Dread Decimator. So all the Link hero monsters are extra heroes. They still count as hero monsters, but they're not elemental, they're not destiny, they're not vision, they're not whatever, evil, whatever, you know. So this takes 2 or more hero monsters, and this card also, any hero monsters it points to, gain 100 attack for each hero monster with different names in your graveyard. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. So it's a Link 3 with 2500, it's not too great. It does only give you arrows, which is kind of decent. And, well, it's 2+ hero monsters, so you could always just, you know, make the Link 2 one and then go into this one. Not too sure why you would. It's a good beater, but only him. He's the only one who actually does piercing damage, which is kind of sad, you know? Even if the monsters he was pointing to did piercing battle damage, that wouldn't have done much more. He's not an enabler, he's an OTK machine, but he doesn't really do much. Anyways, it's still nice to have some support. We have Destiny Hero Malicious as an ultra rare. Honestly, this is awesome. A lot of people like playing Malicious, especially nowadays, because it allows you to go into a lot of Link combos. And, well, having it as an easy-to-get foil, and honestly, this printing looks dope. Wow. It looks darker. I like it. Nice. But yeah, this is a very good thing for a lot of people who were playing the common one or some cheaper version. This will look great in any deck, and honestly, a good little bonus for people who want to play it. We have Destiny Hero Disc Commander, the Erratad version. So, cannot be special summoned from the graveyard the turn this card was sent to the graveyard. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can draw 2 cards, but you can only use this effect of this card's name once per duel. So basically, before you could spam it and draw and draw and draw until you had all the stuff you need. Now you can only use it once per duel and not on the same turn as it was used, sent to the grave basically. But this is also still very playable, and it just came off the ban list from what I understand, basically, because it got errata'd. But yeah, you could use Mask Change on this, get Dark Law. This is in your graveyard, and anytime you just bring it back to do a Link monster, like a Cyberse, you can make Link Karibo with this, and basically, you would be able to draw 2. So, I mean, you just bring it back, you draw 2. That's pretty easy, pretty good to do, and it's a material for whatever you want afterwards. You could also use Isolde to summon this, and Isolde basically is very easy to use with warrior decks. They already use Malicious, they use a lot of warriors in general, honestly, Vion and stuff like that, so might as well use Disc Commander in there. We have Destiny Draw, which is also a very nice reprint as a foil. It's been printed so many times as a foil, but it's always good to see it. It looks gorgeous in a darker print. Kind of funny though, I bought these cards at one of my locals, and I'm in North America, but this looks so dark that it looks almost as if it was European print. We have the next Link monster, Extra Hero Wonder Driver. So 2 hero monsters, specifically 2 hero monsters, but this is easy to make nowadays. You just use Solid Man, and basically you summon any other hero from your hand, which is allowed by Solid Man, and you make this guy, but this guy is not that good, and he gives your opponent a zone. If a hero monster is normal or special summoned to your zone this card points to, target 1 Polymerization spell card, 1 Fusion spell card, or 1 Change Quick Play spell card in your graveyard, set the target. Okay. You can only activate this effect of Extra Hero Wonder Driver once per turn. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, special summon 1 hero monster from your hand. You have to have some more heroes in your hand. I mean, you could always have a Malicious in your hand and get rid of it this way, but it has to be destroyed. Why? If it was just sent to the grave, it would be such a better enabler. Like, if you made this with Solid Man and, let's say you special summoned, I don't know, whatever else, you special summoned Shadow Mist. Let's say you special summoned Shadow Mist, and Shadow Mist used their effect to search for change. So you make this card with those 2, and then you use change on this to, you know, make the light masked hero, and then you could special summon, let's say, a Malicious from your hand. You know? So something to go off a bit more or whatever. I don't quite understand why it has to be from your hand and not from the deck. If you have to have it destroyed by an opponent's card effect or by battle, might as well be from the deck. You're not going to use that too often, especially since it's only once per turn. Oh no, that effect of being destroyed is not once per turn. Oh, okay, it's still bad, but it's not too bad. So now we have a lot of commons, and a bit more of extra deck cards in the bag, but let's just go a little faster over these cards, because they've been printed a lot, just like some of these cards over here, but they're not as foil or good to look at, although there are some very interesting ones, so we'll just proceed. We have Destiny Hero Dogma, which is pretty cool. We have Plasma, also very nice. We have Dread Master, a lot of Destiny heroes, because this is basically a Destiny hero deck. We have a second Malicious, but not a third one. We have Celestial, we have Diamond Dude, we have Dread Servant, Dark Angel, which is kind of nice. We have a Dynatag, and Drill Dark. These are very useful. Very useful. 2 Drill Darks, that's pretty nice. Honestly, you need that in your deck if you want to play Destiny heroes as an actual deck. We have Decider, we have Dreamer, we have D-Cubed, twice, 3 times, that's it. because this actually needs to be multiple copies of if you want to play it. Honestly, they should have just made more maliciouses, or malicious is, whatever. But, D cubed is still pretty interesting. And I mean, this is a lot of cards you see in Duel Links, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links is something that a lot of people are enjoying right now. And Destiny Heroes, or the Dark Hero decks, were very good and popular a little while back. I think there are still a lot of people playing them, but I'm not as sure anymore because Synchros just came out over there. We have Shadow Mist, very interesting reprint as a common, which is kind of disappointing. But, we have Blazeman, a very interesting reprint also because it used to be a secret rare. We have Destiny Draw again. We have Over Destiny, which is good for special summoning some Destiny heroes and stuff, twice. We have Clock Tower Prison, Dark City, Mask Change twice, Polymerization twice, Monster Reborn, because 2 Over Destinies is not enough. So, okay, Monster Reborn is special summon a monster from either player's graveyard and special summon it, But here in Over Destiny, it's target 1 Destiny Hero monster in your graveyard, special summon 1 Destiny Hero monster from your deck whose level is less than or equal to half of that target's level. So this basically allows you to summon the level 1s from your deck and extend your plays, while this allows you to special summon from the grave. But for Over Destiny, you need a Destiny hero in your grave. There are some ways these cards are somewhat similar to an extent. We have Magical Stone Excavation, Terraforming twice because, it's limited to 2. Feather of the Phoenix. We have Destiny Signal, D-Time, Eternal Dread, which is just basically useful for the 1 copy of Clock Tower Prison in this deck. And we have it twice. This is just sad. Place 2 clock counters on each Clock Tower Prison. You only have 1 Clock Tower Prison in the whole deck. Why would you put 2 Eternal Dreads in there? If you put 2 of the Field Spell, maybe. But man, this is just poor placement. You just wanted a filler, I guess, but this is bad. We have Diffusion, which is interesting, honestly. And then we have our rest of extra deck, because I believe every deck in here has 10 cards extra deck, and we only saw 2 yet. So Destiny and Dragoon, pretty nice. I remember when this came out, it was a very interesting card to fight against. Now we have Dusktopia, which is somewhat recent. We have it twice. We have Dystopia. I don't remember this one before. 2 Destiny Hero monsters. If this card is special summon, you can target 1 level 4 or lower Destiny Hero monster in your graveyard and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the target's attack. Okay. If this card's current attack is different from its original attack, quick effect, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy it, and if you do, this card's attack becomes equal to this card's original attack. Okay, and it's a permanent change, but we have it twice, so that's pretty cool. And we have Dangerous, and Dark Law, and Anki. So, interesting reprints. Not as interesting, because I believe this one was printed in Code of the Duelist as a common, so not that long ago. But this deck, honestly, if you bought 2 of the hero decks, you could probably make a playable deck. You just need to bump a little more extra deck power, Now let's go with the Nordics, Let's just pick up the pace a bit. Nordics are old school player fan favorite decks because they've been lacking a lot of support for a very long time, but they're not as playable as, let's say, Heroes or Phantom Knights. And their effects are very, very long, and they have some very intricate combos. So let's just go over them a little faster, but if you guys have any interest in here, please do leave a comment down below, and I will gladly explain anything you want to ask, or if any combos work. I've played these, a lot of my friends actually played Nordics back in the days. One of them played them in locals, and that was very fun back then. So I do have some knowledge to some extent of what they can do. So we have, first of all, Gullveig, the Nordic Ascendant. So basically these are all based on Nords, or basically Norse mythology. So this is pretty fun. 1 level 5 or lower Nordic monster, and it's a link 1, so it's easy to make. If this card is link summoned, you can banish up to 3 cards from your hand and or field, and if you do, special summon that many Nordic monsters from your deck in defense position. Also, for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon monsters except Isaiah monsters. But this is very nice, because you summon it easily, and then you banish just 3 cards randomly. You summon 3 cards and use those 3 to make the Nordic gods, which are all level 10. So you need at least 3 monsters to make it easy to summon. And at the same time, you're milling your deck, and the gods are pretty decent. Oh, and you can't normal summon or set monsters at all. Okay. You can only use this effect of Goveg once per turn. While this card points to an Aizeo monster, your opponent cannot target that monster with card effects. Also, monsters your opponent control cannot target this card for attacks. Okay, interesting. We have a reprint as a foil of Tangrisnir, the Nordic Beast. So if this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you get 2 tokens. We have Dark Hole, not needed as an ultra rare, but it's still a very nice looking card. Gotta say, I do love my staples. So a very nice looking card, but it was not needed as a reprinted foil. We have Ascension Sky Dragon. So this used to be a prize card, I believe, if I remember correctly. And I think this is the first time it's just printed as is. If this card is synchro summoned and gains 800 attack for each card currently in your hand. So hopefully, when you do summon this hunk of a level monster, well, you have cards in your hands left, you know? When this card you control is destroyed by your opponent's cards and sent to the graveyard, if all of the monsters that were used for the synchro summon of this card are in your graveyard, you can special summon all of them, but their effects are negated. It's interesting, to say the least. But the artwork is beautiful. Beautiful. We have Coral Dragon, interesting reprint, not needed, but knowing that it's a tuner synchro monster, it does allow you to do a lot of combos, and its effect is pretty decent. This is going to be very useful, especially when Needle Fiber will come out. So it's time to go and get them while you can, guys. It's guaranteed, and honestly, this is worth the 30 to 40 bucks depending on where you live. So very interesting card to get. Doesn't need to be a foil, but you know, we'll take it. I mean, might as well. But you know, it's sad to see that the gods are not the foils in here. We have another one of these. We have the other goat, Tangnostur, Tangjostur, and this is Tangrisnir. So basically the 2 goats that carry Odin's chariot or whatever. So this card is when a monster you control is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. And the rest is basically when it changes position, you can special summon a Nordic Beast monster from your deck in defense. Except, you know, itself. And you have it twice. We have Garmer of the Nordic Beasts, so the wolf, basically. If this card battles level 4 or lower, you get to return the monster to the hand. It's not that good, but you have it twice. We have Goldfax, which is a tuner level 4 that can be special summoned if you control no monsters and your opponent controls a synchro monster. Not too interesting for now, but when Savage Strike comes out, a lot of people might start playing synchros again, a lot more than at the moment at least. So maybe keep that in mind if you ever do want to play the deck. Dverg of the Nordic Alfar, so now we're at Alfars instead of Beasts. Beasts are for Thor, Alfars are for Odin, I believe? No, Ascendants are for Odin, and Alfars are for Loki, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong, but I believe it's that way. So basically, when you normal summon this, you can normal summon another Nordic. And well, you know, when this card is sent from the field to the grave, you can target a Nordic Relic card, which are the spells and traps for Nordics, and add it to your hand. So we have it twice. We have Zjolsaf of the Nordic Alfar. Basically, when it's normal summon, you get to target a face-up monster you control, and special summon a Nordic monster from your hand with level less than or equal to that monster's level. Twice. We have Nordic Alfar Svartalf, yep, which is the tuner level 5, which is somewhat interesting, honestly. And when this card is normal summon, you can target one Nordic monster from your graveyard and add it to your hand. But it has to be normal summon, and that's the tribute summon, basically. It's not that good. We have Mara of the Nordic Alfar, interesting tuner level 2. When using this card as a synchro material, the other synchro materials must be 2 Nordic monsters in your hand. So it's interesting, but, you have this card over here, which, you know, stops the effects, if I remember correctly. No, it does not. So if you do have any other Nordic monsters in your hand when you do use this card's effect, you could just send one card from your hand, get this, and use the 2 others in your hand to make the big synchro monster. So it's not that bad of a combo. If you don't want to banish too many cards, that is. This card basically allows you to send a spell card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon it when you control specific stuff. And we have Valkyrie, which is probably one of the best. This is not treated as a Valkyrie card, though. Do mind. But when this card is normal summon, if your opponent controls a monster and you control no other cards, you can banish 2 Nordic monsters from your hand, special summon 2 Einerjar tokens, which are level 4 in defense position. So, you banish 2 Nordic monsters from your hand, and you get to make a god. It's not that bad. Back then, this was very useful, actually. We have Vanadis of the Nordic Ascendants. This one was insanely powerful back in the days, and it was a secret rare, I believe. For a synchro summon, you can substitute this card for any one Nordic tuner, and it's tuner level 4, so it's pretty useful. If this card is used as synchro material, all other synchro materials must be Nordic monsters. Once per turn, you can send 1 Nordic monster from your deck to the graveyard. This card's level becomes the level of that monster. So it was very versatile. We have Terror, which is a beatstick, basically. And then we have Spells and Traps. So we have the Nordic Lights. Protects your Nordic monsters. And when this card is destroyed, you destroy them all. Kind of sad. Nordic Relic Dropnir. So Dropnir is basically you equip it and it gains attack. And if it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add a Nordic Relic deck, from your deck to your hand. You have it twice. We have March Towards Ragnarok. Basically, effects are negated and the monster is protected. We have all the forbidden cards, I believe. Well, not all. We don't have scriptures. But we do have 3 of them, including these 2, which are very good. We have Monster Reborn again. We have Soul Charge, which is a very decent reprint. A lot of people do play this. We have A Trunade, which is a very recent print card, and it's reprinted here as a common already, which is kind of sad. We have Mystical Space Typhoon. Gleipnir, which is a search card for Nordics, twice. We have Brisingamen, which is basically you module attack. We have it twice. We have Leviathan, and basically you target a face-up monster on the field that destroy a monster by battle this turn and destroy it. So it's like Sakuretsu armor almost, but you don't protect your own monster. But this can't be chained to. We have Nordic Relic Gungnir. So you banish a Nizer or Nordic monster you control, then target a card on the field and destroy it. Also, during your second end phase after the activation, return the monster you banished to activate this card to the field and face-up attack. It's not too bad, but it's second end phase after activation. So if you activate this during the end phase of your opponent's turn, or during your opponent's turn, it takes until your end phase to be back. So it's kind of not too interesting at that point. We have Nordic Relic Megingjord, which is attack modulating again. We have Solemn Authority, which is interesting because it's Aesir and it's Solemn, so there's like a link over there. We have Thor, we have Loki, and we have Odin. So basically, Nordic Beasts, Alfar, and Ascendants, they're all level 10. They all have some very high attack and defense stats. If you guys can't see them, there you go. And basically, this card can deal with effect of monsters, and they all have this effect that they can be special summoned back, and they have an effect when they do get special summoned back. Like, he gets you to draw a card, he can target a trap in your graveyard and add it to your hand, and he can inflict damage to your opponent. You can negate the activation of a spell or trap during your battle phase. And you can make this card unaffected by spell and trap effects until the end of the turn. But this card does something almost similar, which is kind of sad. You don't really need Odin, but it is an interesting card and has the highest stats. We have Leo, which is also a very high level synchro, and it's an interesting print. We have Beelze of the Diabolic Dragons, and Beelze of the Diabolic Dragons. So Beelzeus and Beelze, and we have Scrap Dragon because, more synchros. And honestly, guys, I love synchros, so don't get me wrong. Love it. I love those reprints. It's just sad to see cards that were so hard to get back in the days, that got reprinted previously already, but now they're printed as commons, and it just hurts a bit. Just a bit. I do enjoy seeing them reprinted again, because that means that kids nowadays will still get to see what we were playing with back in the days. It's just that they're gonna compare it to what they have nowadays, and they won't understand how good they were and how meaningful they were to us, you know? But let's get to the Phantom Knights. This video has been going on for a while now. I'm really sorry guys for taking up so much of your time. We have 2 dark monsters. During your main phase, you can send 1 Phantom Knight monster from your deck to the graveyard, then set a Phantom Knight spell trap directly from your deck to your spell and trap zone. If a dark exceeds monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, while this monster is on the field, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. So it's optional, you know? You can only use each effect of the Phantom Knight or of Rusty Bardiche once per turn. Cannot be used as a link material. Very important, guys. But the artwork is beautiful on this piece of cardboard. Jeez, it looks beautiful. This is binder worthy. Wow. We have Twin Twisters, very disappointing reprint. We've seen this many times. I believe it was a secret rare just like a couple sets ago too. We have the Phantom Knights of Mist Claws, very powerful card for the deck. Honestly, I believe this is something that a lot of the Phantom Knights people or players were very wanting. You know, they were wanting this card for a while, and I think this is the first print in TCG. I'm not too sure about that, don't quote me on it, but I know a lot of people were wanting this. We have Breaksword, which was just like Twin Twister printed a lot of times lately. We have Heroic Champion Rongominiad, and this card is extremely powerful, so this is very interesting to see right here. And honestly, this can be such a pain to beat. But, you know, guys, just read the effect and understand that this card can be very powerful. Very powerful. And we have commons, but very interesting commons. So I'll go a little quickly over these, but basically the Phantom Knights are just a bunch of level 3 spammers that will just keep comboing and keep coming back all the time. All of the time. So we have Ancient Cloak, Silent Boots, and Ragged Gloves. We have Glove and Helm. We have Fragile Armor. We have Ancient Cloak again, Boots, Gloves, Helm, Armor. Why weren't they all together? The doubles in the Nordics were all together. Anyways, so we've got these. We've got Armageddon Knight, which is a 1 card almost link 4 nowadays, especially with Malicious that we just got in this boxed set. We have Blue Mountain Butter Spy, which is also very powerful because when you normal summon a warrior monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Can't be used as a material for synchros, but can be used for links, which honestly, you know, you normal summon this, send Malicious to the grave, special summon this, you got yourself 3 warriors, and the possibility of getting a 4th one if you use the Malicious that you just brought to the field, and you know, that's like a link 4, with 2 cards, but I mean, still, it's a very good combo for an all-dark deck. With warriors, obviously. We have Rescue Ferrets. We have Junk Forward, very interesting reprint right here. A lot of people were playing this in Gokis because it's a warrior under level 4 and it's Earth. So there are some combos allowed with this, especially when, you know, special summon this, and then you get a Goki on the field, make Isolde, search for the Goki, use Isolde's effect, combo off. This was a very expensive card, and it just got reprinted as a common. I believe this is going to be like $1 or $2. So this is very good to see. We have Kagemusha Knight, which is a very old card if I remember. When you normal summon a level 3 monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So all the Phantom Knights are level 3. So this is very interesting. Cock-a-doodle-doo, because, you know, might as well get some free special summons out of this. And it's a tuner. We have Effect Veiler, a lot of reprints, but a very useful card, even nowadays in the meta. We have the Phantom Knights Rank Up Magic Launch, I believe twice, yep. We have Phantom Knights Spear, once. We have Dark Hole, which was printed as an Ultra over here, so this is ridiculous to see it again, as a common especially. But, you know, take it or leave it, might as well take it. But it would have been nice to, you know, have a second print of some other thing, like Effect Veiler or, you know, Armageddon Knight doubled or whatever. It would have been more useful to the deck at this point. We have Monster Reborn, so we have 1 in each deck, to be fair. We have Foolish Burial, interesting. Reinforcement, needed. Dark Eruption, needed. And now we're at the traps, because this deck does play a lot of traps. We have Phantom Knight's Fogblade, which is somewhat of an expensive card. Well, the original print at least, I believe. So we have one of these. We have Phantom Knight's Sword twice. And we have Knight's Wing twice. And Phantom Knights of Shadow Veil twice. And Shade Brigandine. And Dark Gauntlets. And Tomb Shield. And Lost Vambrace. And Wrong Magnetring twice. So basically, all of these have the bonus effect of when your opponent monsters declare an attack, or almost all of them, they get the effect that they can be special summoned and just, they become a monster. Like, most of these do get to be special summoned, or they don't, but they have a different kind of effect. But like these ones, you get a monster out of this. So it's pretty interesting. You get to combo off at least. We have the Phantom Knights of Cursed Javelin, reprinted lately, was already printed not too long ago. We have a Dark Rebellion Exceeds Dragon. We have Dark Requiem Exceeds Dragon, so you can boost it up with the rank up. We have Evil Swarm Nightmare, pretty cool. We have Evil Swarm Thanatos, also pretty cool. We have Levier, which is a very wanted card, a very sought after card, because, it's an easy rank 3 that gets you special summons. So, very nice. And we have Dante, the final card, and honestly, a lot of people are very happy this got printed in here. A lot were mad that it was a common, but at the same time, this is like still going to be a $4 or $5 card, Canadian dollars, at least that's how I use my currency. So, this is still going to be an expensive common for something that's guaranteed in this deck box, But it's going to be a very accessible card, and Burning Abyss are very powerful nowadays, even after so many years of gameplay and everything. People are still playing it and still topping with it, and you might as well just get your own copy now. But this being printed as common might also mean that it might get hit soon. You never know what happens when a card is printed as an easy-to-get card and sees a lot of meta relevancy. So, this overall was a very interesting product. Honestly, a lot of great reprints, some pretty interesting new prints, or OCG imports / TCG exclusives, because I believe you have one exclusive per deck, maybe two, I'm not too sure. But yeah, and really, these are all playable decks now. They're not especially powerful, but if you buy 2 or 3 of these boxes over here, you could easily just mix and match stuff and make a very decent playable deck for about $40 to $60. And you could always just sell or trade the extras, or you could buy 3 with some friends. So for $20 to $30, you could get like 3 copies of one of the hero decks, and another friend 3 copies of the Nordics, and another friend 3 copies of the Burning Abyss, or whatever. And basically you guys were all set for just $30 each. Very, very interesting for promoting gameplay with friends or with your locals or whatever. And it brings back a lot of the older archetypes that were not seeing a lot of love, like the Nordics. This is a very interesting rebrand-ish, It's like they bring back some very old stuff that people were almost forgetting. They bring back some very sought-after cards as easy-to-get cards. So overall, I would rate this as a good purchase for whether you be a collector or you want to get into the game or whatever. This is a very decent buy. As long as you don't get ripped off and you don't pay like $40 or something for one box, this is still a very good purchase under that amount. Because most of these cards will have some value. Like this is like at least $5 each. These are maybe $1 or $2. You can easily sell like Malicious is going to be a couple bucks also. You have a lot of good reprint cards in here like Monster Reborn and Soul Charge. You have some very, very decent Phantom Knights cards, which are also very interesting. Effect Veiler has always been, no matter the amount of reprints, a $1 or $2 common right here. You have Junk Forward, you have Kagemusha Knight, which are very interesting cards to get. You have so much good stuff. Like, this is just one of the decks. You have a lot of great stuff from over here, too. With this Commander's Errata, you have Dark Law, you have Shadow Mist, you have a lot of great stuff in here. This is playable, but this is also very valuable. So honestly, guys, I do recommend you guys buy this if you have any interest in this at all. If you don't and you only have interest in one of them, do talk to your community about who else wants the other decks so you could, get together and buy one together. I'm not pushing the product. I'm just telling you guys, don't miss out on the occasion of sharing with your community and getting a good deal for yourself at the same time. So yeah, this will be all for the review today. I'm sorry for taking so much time reviewing 3 decks, but basically this was a lot to talk about. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I hope you guys will have learned or, got the info you were looking for, at least concerning this product. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Do leave a comment if you have any suggestions or questions about these decks or whatever. And until next time, guys, it's been a pleasure, and Panem out.